Yeah, I saw one the other day that it was a picture of a beer cooler. And in that beer cooler, it had all these different beers on the top few shelves, and they all had masks covering them,
Saw
covering
it.
the names. Yeah, and at the bottom, all the Corona bottle. I love that. I mean, that's hilarious. Absolutely
The
hilarious.
coronavirus memes. And you've walked in on our talking about coronavirus memes. Of course. What else? Seriously. Will we be
Well, no,
talking?
seriously. Memes aside, I actually worried about you last week because I know you were in Seattle,
I was.
and I was reading a whole bunch of articles on how all of the airline staff, shouldn't say it that way. Airline staff on all of the airlines are looking for people who are sneezing and coughing and really, really worrying about that. And that there's a number of groups inside of airports that are cordoning off or what is it? The word just completely slipped out of my head. Quarantining passengers because of illness and testing them for coronavirus, especially those people that are flying to and from the coasts. And since you were just in Seattle,
Yep.
and you had a cold.
Yeah.
We didn't record last week for lots of reasons, but one was because you felt miserable, which you know what? I'd rather not talk to you over the internet.
You don't even like
getting
talking
sick.
to me when I feel great.
That's true. That is true. But I was worried about you. I was going to text you and ask you if you got quarantined on your way home.
Yeah, I did have a coughing jag on the plane. I was delighted on the way out there that I didn't, but on the way home I did. On one on each leg. So I'm connecting in Minneapolis on the way home. And and it's like, I'm trying not to cough and I can't. So I'm covering my mouth with a Kleenex and and I've got you have the telltale pack of Kleenexies in the seat back pocket in front of you because, the guy sitting next to you, and I was only in a 2-seat, it wasn't 3.
A little one?
Right. Well, it was a smaller plane. It was in Embraer. And, the guy sitting next to you is going, oh, great. I've got a sneezer. And, and so and I did have the coughing jag, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. And we both had our noise canceling headphones. So I'm hoping it wasn't as loud to him as it was to me.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the coughing. It's the motion.
Yes.
You see that person going back and forth with their hand over your mouth. You're thinking, oh, Corona.
Yeah.
not my Corona.
Right. Yes, it was like that. So that was kind of sucky. And as you know, I felt just like absolute crap the moment I arrived at the hotel on Monday. So Monday I arrived, they let me in early to the hotel, like 11 a.m. And truly I was in bed for the rest of the day and night, and was somehow able to make my appointment the next day. And
that's good.
Went remarkably well. So I was happy about that.
And tell the listeners the very first thing you did. What was the very first thing? You texted me something. What was it?
When I got to the hotel?
When you got to Seattle.
What did I do? The first thing I got
You texted me a picture.
Oh, well, my rental car.
Yeah. Which was?
It was a Jeep Wrangler. And I am here today to give you my own personal unbiased review of that said Jeep Wrangler.
I'm waiting.
Yeah. Well, we can actually, so Nick and I today, listeners, we have our cameras active today. So other than the times when we're in the same room together, which we hate, just kidding, we love that. We get a chance to see each other's faces, and it's actually kind of a different twist on things. So yes, the Wrangler, I have to tell you, and I'm going to throw a couple of things at you. It's not intuitive. That's the first thing I'll say.
Okay. You might have to unpack that a little bit more.
Well, I will. As far as the controls and everything, where they're located, particularly the windows. So one of the first things you do when you are leaving a rental car facility is check. You have to roll down the windows, because you're going up to check out, and you give them your driver's license, and if there's a paperwork piece that you give them, where the window controls are in a Wrangler. I don't drive many Wranglers, so I didn't. And then once I found them, trying to negotiate. It's not just a simple, blade up and down sort of a thing. It's a press in and lift up and stuff like that. It's like a bra. It lifts up and presses in.
Yep.
So anyway, that it was non-intuitive, and the guy is actually like pointing to the middle where the windows are. And again, if you do not know, they're in the center dash, really, or lower dash. It's not even like a console or anything like that. It's actually in the vertical part of the dash. So other challenging things. Jeeps like it or don't like it, they go where you point them.
Right.
Part of it has to do with the short wheelbase, but I think it's also the suspension and the steering and so on. They do not overcorrect well.
No.
And either you like that or don't like it. I came to like it after I drove it for 8 hours or whatever that was. Going.
It's definitely something you have to get used to.
Yeah, for sure. And again, not bad or good. It was just getting used to it was, part of the learning curve. And, the windshield's small. That's something else I noted. What else? That's really about it. I mean, I'm familiar enough with them to not be surprised. Here's what I really liked. Holy cow, the performance. I could be wrong, but it felt to me like it was a small turbocharged V6. Now,
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a turbo or not, but I thought I heard some turbo whine.
Interesting. I don't think it's supposed to be, but I could be wrong. I have been wrong before.
What?
It's very rare. It happened
Not
once.
on this podcast.
Not on this podcast.
No,
ever.
no. But anyway, it was the performance was terrific. It moved way better than any other Wranglers I've driven. So it was, it was really good. I liked the way it sat, the tires and wheels, and it was a nice vehicle. I was enjoying it, and for the most part, it's one I would be happy to drive again. Now,
was it a Sahara? It looked like a Sahara from the picture.
It was. I seem to recall. Yeah, I think it was a Sahara. Now that you mention it, and I'm not sure what that constitutes a Sierra or a Sahara. I'm sure you do.
Not really.
Okay.
I just know the fender flares were the same color as the body. And usually that means it's a Sahara or above.
Yeah.
Depending. There are a few that are even above that trim level wise that don't have the same color fender flares, but
okay. Well,
but you also had the tires that run, or at least the wheels on the tires. The wheels on the tires on the Jeep. Wait, no, that's that song.
Yes, love that song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
It sure is.
It is now.
That was what it left me with was this. I enjoyed it. I liked the power, the handling. I came to enjoy, and truly the mountain roads. This is between Seattle and Wenatchee, and I think I'm saying that right. It's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive, and it was, you know what? It was pretty darn nice. It was a nice drive. But at the end of the day, is it a $40,000 vehicle to me? No. And that's about probably what the MSRP is.
Yeah, it's about that, I would say. If it truly was a Sahara, it might be a little bit above that, depending, again, on the little bells and whistles that you add into it. But we have been for a long time talking about Jeeps on this podcast. We've had a guest on that we just nerded out about Jeeps. Mikey. We do a lot of talking about Jeeps. It's one of my passions. And you went out and you rented one. And you know what I did last week, John? After all of this talk about Jeep Wranglers, buying Jeeps, the right kind of Jeep, what kind of Jeep we want.
I know exactly what you did.
I went out.
And you bought
something. I bought
something.
A Mercedes.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
So tell everybody what you bought.
Well, I bought a used one, so don't, it was not a $40,000, $50,000 Mercedes, but it was, it's new to me. And it is a 2017 C300. Nice. And it was, after I looked and I was looking for that needle in a haystack when it comes to a Jeep. And I just, like you said, the $40,000 and I couldn't bring myself to do it for as much as I drive. And if I'm going to spend that much money, it's going to be an everyday driver, not something that I can tinker on and put in the garage,
Yes.
because I can't afford 2, 3, 4 large car payments. So
Yep.
I'm not going to do that. So I
You
went with
can't
something.
afford 4 large car payments?
I
What?
can't. I'm not a baller like you.
That's weird.
I'm not rolling in it. I'm rolling in something, but it's not money.
Hey, somebody with 4 car payments, I have news, is not rolling in it either.
That's true. Very true. Very, very true.
Typically.
So anyway, yeah, I found this one. It was an exceptional deal for what it was,
Nice.
and I snatched it up, and I'm
May I ask how
loving
many
it.
miles?
It only had 31,000 miles on it when
Oh,
I got it.
perfect. Wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
not bad for a 17.
Wow, I'll say. And a manual or an automatic?
Automatic.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, it's weird. Speaking of not intuitive, that's the one thing when I was doing my research, a lot of people complained about, and I find it very difficult still, is how the transmission works. It's on the tree, like you would think an old car transmission
Yeah.
on the tree, but it's a push button. So you hold it up, and then that'll go into reverse.
The push button is on the steering column?
It's on the steering. Yeah, well, it's a lever on the steering column, like your windshield
Oh,
wipers normally would be.
yep.
But that's your gear shift. So
And
you
it's
hold
electronic.
the lever up for reverse, you hold the lever down for drive, and you push the button for park. It's
No
so
kidding.
strange. It's hard to get used to.
I bet.
Yeah.
But after
But
a
other than
while,
that, yeah.
you'll be used to
After
it.
that, besides that, it's absolutely wonderful.
Awesome car.
Yeah.
And nice riding.
Very nice riding.
You
Gas
don't have to-
mileage. Gas
Yeah.
mileage was shockingly good because it's only 30. I think the average is 31 miles to the gallon. But and the very first time I filled it up, I won't lie, I had a mini heart attack because the Sentra was a whopping $28 to fill, 31 at when the gas prices are really high. But I had to fill it up. In one of my trips, I would fill up probably 3 times a week. So we're talking roughly $90, right? For the week to go out.
Yep.
And I went to fill this thing up, and it was $50 the very first time I filled it up. And I'm like, oh shit, what did I get myself into?
What have I done? Well, yeah, but it's a bigger tank.
It's a massive tank, and I get almost 600 miles out of the tank. I've only so far, and I've only had it now for 2 weeks driving about, and I've only had to fill the tank once a week. So I'm still, $50 maybe if I have to eke out $100, but it'll kind of be a split between the 2 weeks. I still think if I'm doing the math correctly, I'm saving money actually, even though I have to put the premium gas in there, at least the comparable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just that instead of seeing a 30, 30, 30, I'm just seeing 50, so
yeah, right.
It's a little hard to swallow in the beginning, but I think again, worth it.
Yeah.
Sorry, all those people who thought I'd be in my Jeep right now tooling around. Nope, not yet.
Well, and all the Sentra fans too are
right. Exactly. Yeah.
Did you both of them?
Yeah, we went silent there. After that.
I know. Did you trade in your Sentra?
I traded in the Sentra.
Okay.
I did.
Well, that's very cool though, and I'm happy for you, and I'm jealous as well. So I'm looking forward to before we got my wife's Cadillac, which, as you know, we got on a lease. We opted to look at some Mercedes, and I'm more of an S-Class guy, not S-Class. I'm sorry, E-Class.
Right.
In my head, I'm an S-Class guy, but I'm affordability. Definitely not.
Mm-mm.
But pre-owned because I like the bigger car and so on. But we ended up with a Cadillac, and so I was close to really feeling it for a Mercedes or the Beamer for that matter too.
Sure.
The 5 Series. But anyway, she's happy with what she has, so I am happy if she is. But my driver is a Frontier pickup, as you know.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah.
Which has been fine, but it does not ride. It rides a lot more like the Jeep than it does like your Mercedes.
Yeah. But it gets better gas mileage than the Jeep, I'm sure.
It probably does. And it's certainly more comfortable because the wheelbase is probably a foot longer.
Probably. Yeah. That's hilarious. No. So, and it's, Yeah, you look at it that way too. It's your wife driving it, not you. So
For
you
sure.
gotta. My wife is completely freaked out by this car. She won't. She has told me she doesn't want to drive it. I'm like, it's just once you get in and do it, it's fine.
So
Because it's got a big front end too.
did you drive it this weekend? She rode with you?
Oh yeah, hmm
Okay, good. And she
yeah.
enjoyed it as a
Oh
rider?
yeah, and
Passenger?
and Peyton loves it.
Yeah,
She absolutely loves this car because she's
cool.
got so many hidden places that she can hide things, and she's sitting in the back seat, and she's actually tall enough that she doesn't need her booster seat, so she sits in there and it kind of just sucks her in. She loves it. She absolutely loves it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
normally we let her pick which car she wants to ride in on the weekends, and normally it's my wife's car because there's a lot more space. And this one does not have a lot of space.
Yeah,
It's probably the same space as the Sentra on the
yeah,
inside for passengers, not necessarily for the
but it
driver.
kinda gloves you in.
It gloves you in, and
Yeah.
she just without even not even any hesitation, it's Daddy's car. She
That's
calls it
awesome.
midnight because it's black on black.
Okay, midnight. It's
Midnight,
as if you bought a horse.
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
Hopefully that's not next.
which you would call wildfire, I know that.
No, she's got some other names, and I can't remember them off the top of
Okay.
my head. But yeah,
That
it's.
was a reference to a song from the '70s. Sorry.
I wasn't born in the '70s.
Riding wildfire, like that.
You didn't call bullshit on that. I was born in the '70s.
I don't have to
Anyway,
call bullshit. I mean, you could be born in the '90s for all I know. You're so freaking young.
not just young looking, young and good looking.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's take a step back and go to your staycation. Nick was on a staycation over the weekend, and at one of our favorite resorts that Nick and I frequent, not together, but
No.
have been to, been to before.
So
We love it there. And he took his family.
I did take my family. Yep. I have been there many, many times. In fact, I used to teach photography, and one of the classes I used to teach was a nature photography class. The school that I taught at was just down the road from the Opry Land Hotel. And if it were a rainy or stormy or snowy day, something like that, and we couldn't go outside to do anything, we'd actually take all the students over to the Opry Land Hotel because it has three uh, arboretum areas with different climates. So you've got your Delta, which is supposed to be the southern United States, kind of Louisiana-ish, swampish, not anywhere near swampish because it's gorgeous.
Yes.
But then it's got the rainforest, and the other one is pretty much just the same thing. But
Mm.
it's just a really nice, fun little place to go. Peyton had been invited to a quote unquote sleepover. She ended up staying with us in our room, anyways. But it was to go to the Sound Waves, which is the new water park that is inside of the Opryland Hotel. So that's where Peyton was for most of it, and Jen and I went out and we had a mini date. Because one thing that we have never actually been able to do since our wedding night, which we also stayed at the Opryland Hotel for our wedding night, was to be able to go to a lot of the restaurants and have some cocktails and then just enjoy ourselves. Because one
Why
of our
not on your wedding night?
no, we did that on our wedding night. I said
Oh, okay.
beside our wedding
Okay.
night.
Oh, got it.
Um, and I mean, on our wedding night, we closed down several bars, the whole wedding party, which is
Oh,
not hard to do at Opryland because the latest the bars stay open is about 10.
oh,
Um,
nice.
but but yeah, so we went and had some drinks and some dinner and walked around. We just had a grand old time and spent way too much money. So it was a great
A
little staycation.
grand old time by
A
the
gr-
Grand Old Opry.
that's right.
You're a
That's right.
genius.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
I don't know how you do
It's hard.
it.
It's really hard, but I managed to accomplish all my goals somehow, some way.
Wow, it is amazing. Well, so if you haven't been there, it's actually the Gaylord, right?
The Gaylord Opryland Hotel. Yep.
And it's a Marriott property, which kind
It
of
is a Marriott property.
surprised me because, as we've discussed before, we're Marriott points whores.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just a beautiful place. You can walk and walk and walk. We were there for a long weekend with a church group. They have it's called the Sing conference there every year, and put on by the Gettys, if you happen to know who they are, Christian singing group.
Are they related to the Rothschilds?
They are not, but they probably have about the same checking account
Oh,
balance, if
okay.
I had to guess. But there are 10,000 people in one room at the at the conference center. And if you've never been, and this is under one roof, not a coliseum sort of a thing. It's a 30-foot high roof, but it's all one level of seating.
Mm-hmm.
And so, unlike if you go to an arena or something like that, it's just all in. It's like one big hotel conference room. That's all it is. But you seat 10,000 people
Yeah.
all in one with a stage in the middle. It's just incredible. It's got to be one of the few facilities in the U.S. that can do that without going to Vegas or being in a huge auditorium of some sort. So anyway, it's a very cool place. We walked everywhere to try to
Mm-hmm.
get there. There are kind of little vignettes
Yes.
around there too. I really enjoyed that, like the little. Let's see, where the do you know where what's the donut place? The
Which one?
awesome
There's
Cinnabon.
the
You know where
Cinnabon. Okay.
Cinnabon is?
Yep.
You know where it is?
That's
So
in the Delta.
it is. So that
Yeah.
whole cute little area is just very cool. Talk a
It,
little bit about
well,
that.
that's actually where our hotel room was in
Oh,
that
good.
general area. So we were actually looking out over. There's a steakhouse that's made to look like an old antebellum mansion. So our room was looking down on that, and then in that general area, there's a lot of water features, waterfalls, and you can walk. And there's actually a kind of, it's not a lazy river. You don't swim in it, but there's a river that surrounds the whole thing, and you can take boat rides in there. It's a really neat place. It has some other water features like a fountain that will go off to certain music, and at night they'll have lights that match. So there's a really neat lighting show, and then there's some restaurants in there and some other shopping. There's a toy store. There's a burger place, a pizza place, and then the market, which is what I thought you were going for when you were talking about the
Oh,
donut place, because the
I
market had
remember.
some
Yep.
incredible pastries.
But
Um,
you walk by, and it's not unlike any airport that has a Cinnabon. When you walk by, it's like they pump that
oh yeah, it's
scent
an
into the
experience.
area.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's,
Yep.
it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Cinnabon? Yeah, you buy them, and I stuff them in my pants, so I smell like that all day.
There's so many places to go with that. I don't even know where to start. So I'm just going to move
You
on.
know where to start.
Right. Yeah.
You
You
just
know what
don't know where
the
to
best
finish.
time to
That's the
go?
problem.
Do what?
You just don't know where to finish. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
I can start. I just can't finish.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
In around Christmas time, it is one of the most incredible places to go. They
I
really
guess.
do up that do
Yep.
up it. They really do it up with the lights and some of the experiences then as well. Some of the fountains turn into massive Christmas trees, and I would highly recommend, if there was any time to go, you could go anytime, and there's a lot of fun things to do, but the best time to go there, if you can get in and you can stay there, is Christmas time. And
Yeah.
Christmas time for them starts probably late October and goes all the way through until the end of January.
I've heard that it's wonderful. In fact, after we stayed there, we got a flyer, that talked about Christmas, and we will probably go back down there. It's also within walking distance of the Grand Ole Opry,
It is, yes.
and so it's nice to be able to stay there and catch a show at the Opry, and we were there for. It was actually a Christmas show shot in July. So we were there for that, which was kind of interesting because as we watched the tape version of the show around Christmas time, you have all these people in shorts and t-shirts, and I was one of them,
Right.
which is probably why I didn't make any of the camera shots. But if
That's
you've
not
never
why,
seen a
John.
show at the, there are other reasons. If you've never seen a show at the Opry, it's pretty impressive. They probably have simultaneously, 8 or 10 cameras going all the time, and so they're taking, fly-in shots, and they've got booms everywhere, and you would appreciate that just because of your background, but their ability to do that at the
Oh
drop of
yeah.
a hat, it's pretty
It
impressive.
is pretty incredible. But and this town is well known for that as well.
Yep.
One of my minor regrets. I don't have any major regrets. I don't even like using the word regret, but it's kind of it's used for this. was when I was in college, everyone was telling me, you need to move to Nashville. Forget about New York, forget about Los Angeles. You need to move to Nashville.
Hmm.
And I'm like, Nashville? Why would I ever want to move there? Who knew many years later that I ended up moving there and going, I could have moved here and I could have been somebody.
Well, let's face it. I mean, you are somebody.
I'm somebody. I'm
You
just not
are.
that somebody.
Not everybody has a
Not everybody has a
PoddiMouths
somebody. That's right.
podcast.
That's true. That is true.
You're
I'd like to
somebody.
thank all of my fan.
Well, and I have to say, I interviewed a whole bunch of people in Nashville. I mean, that was the only city I was looking for, a podcast partner.
Yeah,
And
well, that's what a lot of people were telling me. I was down on the list, low on the list, but that's true to form. I'm usually second fiddle to most people getting jobs. So
wow, you are a low lister. I know.
I am. I'm very. But I
Well,
always
because you
deliver.
sneak
That's
up
the
on
thing.
people, then.
I do. I'd sneak up on them like a bad fart.
That's potty dusting.
Potty dusting. Sorry. See, I'm screwing it up again.
Hey, the only good thing, can I tell you, about being on a plane with a cold is you can't really smell everybody
Potty
cropped up.
dusting. That's good. See, you look for the positive side in everything.
You have to.
That's why I love you so much, John.
It's kind of like the Pepe Le Pew cartoon, where after he had a bath, he was trying to shoot his scent out of his tail at people, which was kind of the like that, and it didn't bother anybody, or it didn't bother the cat who he was shooting at, because they both had colds, and
it's a great story, John.
Not just it is. It's a classic, and one that I've told for many years and will to my granddaughter.
All right, sounds good. So that was my adventure this weekend. It was a lot of fun. We did enjoy ourselves quite a bit.
Okay,
we actually spent some time at Soundwaves. Yes,
off the record.
Yeah.
So you went to Soundwaves too, which I thought
I didn't go swimming in Soundwaves. I've got this rash,
Wow.
It's a whole other story. It's a whole other podcast. Potty rash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go on. What were you saying?
Okay. Speaking of the rash, boy, that's hot. So since you honeymooned there.
Yes. No, it didn't honeymoon there. Didn't honeymoon. Just the wedding night.
Okay, the wedding night was there, which was sort of the beginning of a honeymoon.
That's the beginning of it. Yeah, we flew out the next day.
Did they ask you if you wanted the bridal?
So that's a funny story. We got a suite on our wedding night. It was a beautiful suite. And being a Marriott Rewards person and being at a very high level, we also get suite nights. So when I booked this hotel, I also applied one of my suite nights to try to get that big suite again. And they gave it to me, and I was really, really excited. And it said junior suite. I didn't catch the junior part. So I'm like, oh yeah. And I've kept this surprise for like a week from my wife, and we walk in and it's just a regular junior suite, which, I mean, it's not regular for her because she doesn't usually get suites. So, anything is nice, but she was expecting just a regular room with an outside view, not an inside view with a balcony or a living room. So we got a junior suite, and it was nice, but it wasn't what I was expecting. So
yeah.
All right. But those big suites, interestingly enough, the very big suites don't have balconies. They just have windows looking down. They're on the top floor, and they're really huge and beautiful, but you can't go out on a balcony. At least this one, you could go out and sit out on the balcony, which there's a picture up on Eat Drink Road that is Peyton sitting on our balcony having her morning decaf coffee.
Saw it, hearted it.
Yes, I saw that. Thank you so much. Yeah. I appreciate that.
It was worthy. And a cute picture of Peyton too. So that was.
Yeah, she takes after her mother. Anyway, so you had a pretty big adventure this week too. Tell us about what's going on in your world.
Well, my adventure was
over the weekend.
Yes, we are. We have bought a condo because we're old, and people apparently buy condos when they're old because.
See, that's not what you told me. You told me that you bought it because it had a room for potty mouthing. You could build your own studio in there. That's why you bought it.
Could we not say mouthing ever again?
Nope. I got to say it every day.
Yeah, I know you do. It actually does have room. You wait till you see my office because it's pretty impressive. I'm actually it was kind of walking the fine line between keeping my pool table and making it fit in there, which it would, and or selling the pool table and taking the whole thing for my office. So I'm actually commandeering this massive lower level room for my office. So it's kind of downsizing, but kind of not. I think our house now is like 2,800 square feet, and this one is it's like 2,200, and it's a condo.
I mean, that's you're downsizing quite a bit there, John.
Well, it's when you consider
you're going to kill each other.
3 bathrooms to 2 bathrooms. I think that probably takes care of the square footage. So it's probably about the same size.
And the maid doesn't have as much to clean anymore. So that's nice of you. And it's nice of you and Lisa to be so considerate for the help, or to the help rather.
We want the help to be happy. Happy help is not crappy help is that's usually right. What we say. Right. Yeah, in our weekly meetings with the staff. So we bought this condo, and we are now attempting to sell our house secondarily. And this is the height of the real estate market where we are. This house will not be worth more money than it is today right now, unless we were to do, well, it's not coincidence. I mean, that's part of the reason we're selling. But it has, unless we do a lot of extra remodeling work like bathrooms and stuff like that. We've worked on them once already, but we've been here 15, almost 16 years. So it's about time to do them again. And short of doing that, we're at the height of the market. So we're hoping to do well. Anyway, so we just listed it Friday, and Saturday we had a showing already. And Sunday, my sister-in-law, who was our realtor, had an open house, and we had 15 buyers through the house on Sunday, if you can believe it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so it is, although I still don't have an offer. And we understand there are 2 on the way, but I won't, you know me, everything's a mind deal. It's like the car business.
Yeah.
You think, well, I think they're going to be back. And yeah, you don't believe any of that crap until you actually have something in writing. So that's what we're waiting on, and I'm trying to be patient about it, and is what it is.
Good for you.
It doesn't happen, but it's good to know that we're kind of priced appropriately so that we actually do have interest, and it's drawn some people in, and it's a great neighborhood. It's a fabulous location. So despite anything it's lacking in, updates in the last 2 years, it's ready to go. So
if anyone's interested in moving to, what is it, Milford?
MILF, yeah, it's MILF. It's actually what we call it. Yeah, MILF
hyphen Ford.
It's very nice. No, it's not. It's called Lake Mills, MILLS.
Lake Mills.
It's a little
Lake Mills.
town outside of Madison, about half an hour. And it's
so if anyone is interested in living in a community that's nowhere near a lake, even though it's named after a lake.
It is too. It's a mile away from a lake. And it's on a golf course. Don't screw with me.
So if anyone wants to buy a house in beautiful
Lake Milf.
See, you said it that time.
You started it.
I didn't say MILF. I said Milford.
Where are you living in? MILF, Wisconsin?
I thought it was Milford. Every time I look at the map, I could see it. So there's an inside joke happening here, folks. When on the system that we use, there's a map that comes up whenever someone is talking from a certain place. And John's, for some reason, hovers right over Milford, Wisconsin. I didn't even know there was a Milford, Wisconsin. So you can't blame me for being confused.
Are you from Lake Milf? That's awesome. That's terrific.
But anyway, that's exciting, John. And I'm really happy. I saw the pictures. I hearted them when I saw the pictures of Lisa signing the papers. I don't know if you got to sign the papers, but
I did in advance. But when we were fortunate enough to be able to not have to finance the condo, so it's 2 signatures for her, 2 signatures for me. That's it.
Oh wow!
You're out.
Look at you.
And then give her a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
So apparently they don't need the signatures when you give them the money. So yeah, that part's a little scary because now we're moguls. We own 2 properties.
Yeah.
And I want to get this one rolling, but
2
because there are
properties, 4 cars.
yeah, no. But we have plenty of garage space now. We have 5-car garage. Right?
Yeah, there
Plenty
you
of
go.
room for the Harley, which is perfect.
Do you really want to sell the house?
Yeah, that's what I'll say to Lisa. I'm kind of liking all these garage spaces.
That's right.
We could fit Nick's Wrangler in here.
Exactly.
And so anyway, it's an exciting thing. I told Lisa the next time we move, though, nursing home.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that's an interesting thing. I don't know if I like nursing homes, and I'm saying this and I've had lots of friends who have owned them. My mother-in-law actually works for a nursing home facility, or several facilities actually. She does accounting for them. So I have that in my family. I have nothing against them, but I have no desire to ever live in one or move to
So
one.
Lisa was a bookkeeper for a couple of different ones in Chicagoland.
Okay.
And so she's very familiar, and they're not called nursing homes; they're retirement facilities,
Right.
and they usually have 3 levels. One is independent living, one is assisted living, and one is healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can imagine by the description, it's just a varying, increasing level of care. So I think that I would do fine in one that was set up for, and I felt well, if you're not in ill health, set up for sort of an interaction-based thing, where there's some quality recreation and games. You're not just sitting playing board games and building popsicle stick figures and stuff like that, although that would be fun. But I mean, there are some that have cocktail hours. And
I like cocktail hours.
All right,
I'm not in for the popsicle sticks, but I'm definitely in for the cocktail hour.
Now we're talking. So something like that would work. And they'll do trips and they'll do shows and stuff like that. So I could see that sort of a nature, not at my current age, but before I'm, not ambulatory.
Sure. So 2 or 3 years from now, I understand.
Maybe 4, but that would be stretching it. My mother is, as we've spoken before, I think 91 years old.
Good for her.
And she lives on her own in her own house.
Mm-hmm.
And so good for her and scary for us because she's fallen a couple times and so we're always concerned about that. She's got the
time to send her to AA
thing. You what?
Time to send her to AA. She definitely has a problem. If she's falling down that much, I mean, John.
And falling down totally sober, that's the problem. If she had an excuse, that would be great. But she's 91. She's in remarkably good health. And she still drives. A little bit scary for some of us, but she's actually okay. She's not a bad driver. So it's a scary thing, but it's bad for her because she doesn't want to change. She doesn't, she's concerned about what if, and we're sensitive to that. So it just, we have to be careful it doesn't become a danger, and that's
absolutely
the fine line you walk.
And there's a fine line. I knew a gentleman who made it, I don't remember if it was 98 or 99.
Mm-hmm.
And his secret to making it that far was just not paying attention to his age. He was still driving. He was still not working, like he didn't have a 8-hour a day, 5-day a week job, but he was working all the time. He went to play golf all the time. And his goal, we played in a golf tournament with him every year. His goal every year was to at least shoot his age.
That's amazing.
Yep. And then it got easier and easier for him the older he got because he was a really good golfer.
Wow.
But, I mean, he would keep up with us. We would play 36 holes a day or more, and he'd be right there with us.
He would play 36 holes a day?
He would play 36 holes a day.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 98-year-old Canadian.
Wow.
Yep. His name was Art Flock. So this golf tournament was actually 4 guys from Rosetown, Saskatchewan. And my stepfather was one of those 4 gentlemen. And Murray.
So you sort of know Saskatchewan.
Yeah, sort of know what Saskatchewan.
Have
Yep.
you seen their tree?
Their one tree.
It's very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. They call it the lobstick.
They
Uh,
do. It's actually the 14th green.
well, no,
Uh,
it's the first hole. There's a story there.
the lobster.
See, you just opened up a whole can of worms.
Damn it. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, so they started this golf tournament. Murray's my stepfather. Murray was a transplant into Rosetown. I'm sorry, not Rose. Yes, Rosetown. Murray actually was born and raised in Kindersley, which is a neighboring town to Rosetown. But when Murray finished med school, he actually started practicing in a small town in Saskatchewan called Rosetown, and he
Okay.
met the Art Flock, who was the very old gentleman, and then Mr. Harvey and Mr. Mullins, which I never met. They were dead a long time before I ever came around. But
Okay.
the golf tournament was the four of them. Every Father's Day, they would go and play golf, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And they'd go up to Waskesiu. Waskesiu it's northern Saskatchewan for people that live in Saskatchewan, but it's really, if you look at a map, it's right in the smack dab middle of Saskatchewan. But it's so far north that it's, you don't go much further north unless you're going to live out in the woods. But it's a provincial park,
Yeah.
great golf course, and it has
It's a
a
great
tree
golf
right in
course
the middle
3
of the
months out
first.
of the year,
Exactly,
right? It's
exactly.
a great
Yes,
course 3 months out of the year. The rest of the year, it's ice.
it pretty much, yeah, yeah. But I hear it's
Okay.
beautiful for the 2 or 3 residents that still live up there.
Right.
The but on the first hole, there's a tree right in the middle of the fairway, which is called the Lobstick. And every year before our tournament, there's another tournament called the Lobstick Tournament, and I think it's a pro-am. I'm not exactly 100% sure of that, but yeah. So there's a lobstick, and the rule is if you hit the tree, you get another shot for free. It doesn't count against your score. Yeah.
Cool.
So we always we either try to do a trick shot around it, or we try to hit it straight on so we can drop the ball and hit from wherever in the fairway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And so there's your Canada.
There's my Canada. Yeah, we could play golf. This is the best part. Play golf until about 11 o'clock at night because that's how light it was. And then you could hit the links again at 4 a.m. if you wanted to. And I did a couple of times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what we usually say to golfers who do that? Get a life.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, we played golf till 11 and then, we started at 4 a.m.
Yeah, well, we played golf until 11, then we'd have dinner. Then we'd go drink and play poker all night. And then instead of going to bed like most people, I'd just walk to the golf course and start playing again, play 18 holes. Then the tournament started, play another 18 holes. Then we'd grab a bite to eat, and then I'd go out with my family and play another 18 holes.
Golfers are a special breed, especially those like that. I don't know if I told you, but when I was a kid, 18, I used to tend bar at a little golf course in southern Wisconsin. And it was just unbelievably entertaining as a young guy tending bar with all these guys who were golfers. So one of my English teachers was a regular there. And you had to learn how to make all of their drinks. And my English teacher, who I would just see at school, and a lot of respect for him, I had never seen him in this light. We're making him cocktails and anyway, so it was fun, entertaining. But these guys would come in from playing 18, and then they would park their butts at the bar and drink and drink and drink and play cards and throw dice and the line that they'd always do was, okay, this is it. The last game of Ship's Captain's Crew, which is a dice game. This is it. And 2 hours later, they're still playing.
Yeah, of course. It's the 19th hole.
Well, for sure. And then sometimes they would just go, all right, you know what? I'm kind of bored with this. Let's go play another time.
Yeah.
And they would, 3 hours later, could maybe not even grab their asses with either hand because they've been drinking so long, and they would go out and play another night. And come back in.
I miss that lifestyle. I don't think it really exists. It probably exists somewhere, but it's just that was my stepdad's life. I mean, it was
Mm,
he'd go to work and he'd come home
yeah.
and we'd go hit balls and or go to the bar and he'd sit there and we'd go putt on the putting green or whatever, it's
Yeah.
or we'd go play nine. It was 9 holes every night during the summer. It was
Okay, we
phenomenal.
need to do that because I get I'm getting your vibe about your golf, uh, 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 how serious you are about it.
Not anymore,
And
but I used to be very much. I used
well,
to
no,
love
but I
it.
mean, but you still can talk the game. So you and I need to go play
Absolutely.
one
I'm
time.
yes.
It's
Well, more
pretty
than
fun
one time,
stuff.
hopefully.
Well, yeah,
I'll
but
try not to kill you.
one to start.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd
sounds good.
say you're the one in danger. Uh,
But, so there's an interesting thing about, golfing and because I've golfed so much, one thing I never used to do, and I do very much a lot now, that's my wife's term, very much a lot, uh, I I never wore hats because I never found one I liked, and I also never wore sunglasses. So I actually have a film over my eye, which requires me now, or my doctors all say, you have to wear sunglasses or at the very least wear a hat whenever you're out in the sun, not just for my bald head, but also just to try to shield my eyes, which is one of the reasons I was so excited when we started our affiliate relationship with Knockaround Sunglasses, because now I have to wear sunglasses when I'm out on the golf course or when I'm in the sun.
cool.
And it just makes for a very easy and inexpensive way to get a whole bunch of sunglasses. So now I can have a pair in the car, I can have a pair in my golf bag and a pair in my computer bag. So when I'm walking around and I need one. Oh, and John's pulling them out right now. This is a nice thing about seeing the video. You actually, ooh, that's hot. That looks good. Ooh, I like those too. I think those were on
See?
my one of my lists to get.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I
Oh,
like
I guess I'll have to send mine back then if you have the same pair.
just send it to me. Um,
Dear.
those look
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
right.
Those look very,
They're
very
great.
good. So
And then
anyway,
I have others too I could try on
yeah,
right
but
here.
the
My
listeners
knock.
can't see it. Yeah, we're just gonna have to take a
Well,
whole
no,
bunch
but
of pictures.
you can sell them on it and say
Oh,
that,
well, I'm trying to
"No,
sell them on it,
no,
but
he
you keep
really does
interrupting
have
me.
sunglasses. He really does."
So anyway, knock around. If you're interested in looking for some very high quality yet inexpensive sunglasses that you can pick up for a little bit of a discount, hey, head to our website and or go to our show notes. The link will be in the show notes, but also we have an affiliate page up on our website that has Knockaround and some of our
Yep.
other affiliates if you're interested.
Yeah. I love their sunglasses, and I'm like you. I like to I just like to have them. I have a pair in each car. I always carry some in my golf bag because you know what it's like. You get out there and you got crap. So now I end up buying Ray-Bans for 250 and nothing wrong with that. I've had Ray-Bans in the past, but I end up sitting on them and they don't seem to last really long when you sit on sunglasses, especially with my big ass. So yes, I concur. You said you had the film on your glasses. I actually
No,
put
no, a film on my eye.
on
There's
your eyes.
yeah.
I actually put window tint on my irises, and it really seemed to help my.
Is it good? Good.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that. Yeah,
they
strangely enough,
pulled me over.
they
The house
actually
pulled me over. It's too dark.
they actually do make contacts that are tinted. So they're
That's
like
tinted though,
sunglasses.
really?
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever do that. I mean, that would just be weird. But
Well, mine
yeah.
are all tinted a little. My
Yeah, so
contacts,
you can
but
actually see them when you're putting them on.
I guess that's part of it. But I think it also is it sort of deflects some of the harmful rays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never seen darker ones,
Yeah, they
or
have them.
I mean, I've seen the cat eye ones,
Oh yeah,
that
those
they
are
use in the
the
movies, and
specialty ones, yeah.
that's a little freaky.
But
But
yeah, so I actually recently, so the last doctor that I had said you have to wear sunglasses or you can wear transitions. So the last pair of glasses I've had for a long time were the transitions, and I hated them. So I finally
why?
got. I just don't. They were the. I didn't like the tint to them because they were a little bit brown. I could have gotten a different
Oh,
tint, but it was what, $200 more expensive, and
oh, okay,
so it was just I just didn't have a great experience. So now, but my new glasses they're not transitions, but they do have the blue blocker, so I can actually work on my computer and not get headaches, which my old ones didn't
cool.
have. Yeah, it's weird, but anyway, I just
That's
wanted
awesome.
to throw that out there about my
Cool. Good idea.
one of my
Your pet peeves.
no
Your
lack of functioning body parts.
wow. Okay. So
No,
speaking of your wedding
seriously,
night,
I do have this crazy film over my eye that it's similar to cataracts, but it's not reversible, and it's
no,
from not wearing sunglasses. So,
you missed my comment, but you're going to hear it when you're editing. Speaking of your wedding night,
oh, so
non-functioning.
I didn't even hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that was
Nice,
great.
nice.
So you went up to the counter and they said, "Would you like the bridal?" No, no, I'll just use her hair. That,
Yeah,
so,
well, it could be serious. We are in Nashville. Um, anyway,
trouble.
so John,
Yes, Nick.
what do you got happening? Anything fun and exciting for the next couple of weeks?
I don't do anything fun except moving. You already
Moving,
knew the answer
yeah.
to that.
I
I'm going to
offered
be,
to help, but then I changed my mind because we're going to Disney in 2 weeks.
oh,
Yeah,
world or land?
world. Yep,
Awesome.
yep. Peyton's spring break, and she's really, really excited. It's the first
Good
time
for you. Are you staying at a Disney
we
property?
are staying at a Disney property, also a Marriott.
Oh,
The Dolphin
is a
Resort is a
Marriott?
Marriott. Yes, it is.
I did not know
Yep,
that. Oh,
yep.
good
The
for
one
you.
it's right next to Epcot,
Yeah.
which I don't know if we're going to go to Epcot. So because we're only going for 3 days, so we have 3 day
Okay.
park hopper, which
Yeah.
we can go to all of them if we want to every day. But we're going to obviously hit Magic Kingdom. I think we're going to hit Animal Kingdom because there's some stuff there Peyton wants to see, and I've actually never been.
Okay.
And then we want to go to the studio, do the studio tour.
Cool.
So I don't know if we're going to hit up Epcot because I remember at her age when I went, I didn't like Epcot. I
Yeah.
love it now. I
Yeah.
actually would probably go there and stay there the whole time. But yeah, for a
I
little
want to hear
girl,
your
it's
take on the studio
do it.
tour. I want to hear your take on the studio
Yeah,
tour. That's it.
I'm curious about the Star Wars stuff. I'm not a
Yeah.
huge
Right.
Star Wars fan. I can get into it. I really like The Mandalorian. We should talk about that sometime. I recommend
Yeah.
watching that if you haven't yet. It's on Disney
Yeah.
Plus. But I'm all the hype behind it. I'm interested to see some of the stuff they have there. So, but
Cool.
that's my exciting two
So,
weeks thing in two
oh,
weeks.
good. I will be looking forward to talking to you about that. And um, also, for sure, I think to me it makes sense that your spring break, you're going right in the teeth of spring break.
We're going a week
That's,
before regular people do, though. That's
oh,
the
you
one
are.
interesting thing about
Don't
my
you think
daughter's
there's,
school
oh,
is because it's all the private schools in Nashville are on
yep,
spring break at the same time, but then I don't remember if it's before or after, but public schools have it the week before or the week after, one of the two.
okay.
So, and
You
that's
know,
the same as most public schools in the country.
okay. Well, but it's still, it's not 1 week. It's like a month of craziness traveling,
Yes.
especially when you think about people from all over the country going to Disney.
Yes.
But
And that brings us full circle to the coronavirus. That's my biggest worry about going.
okay, can I just tell you this?
You can. I don't
That
know if I'll listen.
the flu kills 30,000 people a
Yeah,
year. The
I know.
coronavirus has killed what, 8 people in the US?
Two.
Seriously?
I think two. Literally.
No, just there are 2 in Washington State, and now today I heard they just updated it to 6 or
Oh, okay.
something like that.
All right.
So I think there are 8 people who have died, and I'm not trying to diminish that, but you kind of diminish all the people that die of the flu
Right.
when you just say, "Oh, the coronavirus is terrible," and it originated. Remember SARS? It was
Yes.
very similar, and there was some hysteria around that too. And yes, be smart. I mean, I
That's the
was
key
sick.
right there. Be smart.
I think it is. I was sick for a day, and it sucked. It was terrible, and I felt like total crap. But but excuse me, still,
Well timed. Well timed
but
sickness.
that was an accident, Nick. But it's there are other things that are going around that you got to be careful about. But just be smart. Wash your hands
That's it.
and
Yep.
and do that. So we did the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star hand wash. That's all we taught our son. You sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star while you're washing your hands, or Happy Birthday twice, or whatever it is. Do that and be smart covering your mouth. And if you got kids, and gosh, there are just so many things that we should all know to do. And then I see dudes walking out of the men's room at the airport with
Oh, yeah.
their hands, and I want to smack them.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But
That's
anyway,
absolutely ridiculous.
I digress. But yes, we'll handle this. We can fix this. We can survive it as long as we're paying attention.
Exactly. Yeah. Just don't, that's the key, is don't freak out. I'm
Don't be stupid.
the only reason I'm worried about it isn't because I'm worried about getting sick, is I'm worried about all of the hysteria that
Yeah.
comes with it.
Yeah.
And that's the part, are they going to shut things down? Are they going to do this? Are they going to quarantine that? And it's like, guys, come on. Just like John said, if you're being smart, everyone's doing what they need to do, what they should be doing always anyway. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please don't take me the wrong way. I'm not scared that we're going to go and catch.
No. And look, by the same token, we're not diminishing, the effects that any of this stuff can have. Any airborne flu, respiratory things. It's all bad. It all sucks.
Yep.
But being smart about it, I think, is probably the best.
Absolutely. And plus, my favorite beer is Fat Tire, so we don't have to worry about it. I won't be touching any Corona.
Yeah, I have not heard of the fat tire virus, but I know that's something you've had the next day.
Yes. It's it's a headache, diarrhea. It's nasty.
I feel like I want a lot of potato chips.
Yeah. No, that's while I'm drinking the Fat Tire.
I think that's what it is.
But there's a reason it's called Fat Tire and why I've had to go on a diet. Anyway, I think that is a good place to end this PoddiMouths podcast. It is not quite a wrap because we want people to join in the conversation, and you can do that by heading up to our website, checking out some of our social media up there, some of our links to our social media for that matter. You can also see,
you can find on PoddiMouths.com.
You can go to PoddiMouths.com and see all of that. Yep. And you can also see our affiliates as well as our pictures. Our pictures are up there. We look really, really handsome, I have to say.
Actually, somehow we touched them. They look a lot better on the pictures than we do in person.
Absolutely. Right now, they're a lot younger.
They're pretty.
The pictures are from when we were a lot younger. That's all I got to say.
That's true.
Yeah, I had more hair.
Yeah, mine was I think mine's the 8th grade graduation picture. Isn't that what you used?
Yeah. Yeah, mine's 7th grade. So. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, head up to our website, check out some of our past episodes after you've listened to this one, and know to go back and listen to some of our past episodes. And we'll see you guys all next week.
We'll see ya.